Hi, welcome to another episode of Comics Review. I'm your host, Kevin Starkey. Let's go ahead and get right to it. The first comic I want to talk about today is The Last Zombie. This is by Antarctic Press. This is issue number 2. And this is basically... there's a lot of zombie comics out there, and I guess the author is aware that maybe people are getting tired of them. And he has a write-up here in the front, and he explains that. And basically, I wanted to read something from that. He said, "The last zombie will look beyond the zombie apocalypse and ask the question, what happens after the dead die? Again. This isn't a story about the dead, it's a story about the living." And that's really the twist that this comic takes. It's about the people that are alive, and there's a group of people. There's a scientist who is working on, I guess, a vaccine that would prevent people from turning into zombies when they die, or protect them from, like, if they get bit by a zombie. I guess it's not really clear. They don't really get into what the vaccine is about. I'm guessing maybe it's probably protecting them, but basically they're in Colorado, and they in a bunker, like underground, with like the military, and there's also another group of people in West Virginia in a similar situation, and they lose contact with that group. And so a group of soldiers plus this scientist head out in some military vehicles to try to get over to West Virginia and see what's going on and see if they need help. And this comic is about that story of them traveling and the interactions between the different people, and the military's training some of these. There's like 2 people, I think, that are civilians, training them how to use the weapons and how to drive the vehicles and all that kind of stuff. So, and the scientist, his fiance is in the West Virginia camp, so he's worried. He hasn't spoken to her, and there's all of that going on too. So it's a really fun, not fun. Fun's not the right word. It's a good comic. It's a serious comic. It's not really, there's not a lot of comedy in it. It's a good story about people, and I'm really enjoying it. This is the art. Let me tell you the artist and writer on this. The story is by Brian Keane, and the art is by Joe Wright, and it's really a lot of like dark colors, black and whites. It's a good choice for this story. Great art, great story. I'm really enjoying it. Definitely pick that one up. The next one I want to talk about is Our Fighting Forces, featuring the Losers. This is just a one-shot. This is by DC Comics. And this takes place during World War II in Germany. And it's about this troop of, or platoon, I guess, of these guys that are all sort of misfits, and they kind of screw-ups. And they're told to go basically on a suicide mission, and they actually come off looking pretty good. And then there's a little twist at the end, and it's a good story. It's a lot of fun, good art. I really enjoyed reading this one. The different characters that are involved, and it's really funny in how they interact with each other and stuff. And then the twist at the end is makes it kind of comical. Definitely pick that one up if you like sort of the war type stories. That one's really good. The next one I want to talk about is Kodiak. This is by IDW. This is one shot also, and this is by the writer of Lock and Key. I don't know if many of you have checked that one out. That's kind of a good comic also. Neat artwork in this. Neat coloring. It's a good story. These kids are trying to spy on a man who they have heard has bear scratches on his face, scars, and they just want to get a look at him. And the man catches them, and he ends up just telling the kids a story about how he got the scratches, and the bear, how the bear's involved in everything. And it's a neat little story. It's a lot of fun to read, and it's kind of a cute little story. Definitely pick that one up if that interests you. It's a lot of fun. The next comic is by 12 Gauge. This is 25 to Life. This is issue number 1. And this one, I like 12 Gauge. They got some pretty neat stuff. It involves some cops that are getting killed, and they all happen to be African American. And this small group of cops, I guess it's a task force, is trying to figure out who's doing the killing, and is it a racially motivated thing, which they're kind of thinking that it is. And they find some people in jail that have been convicted of killings based on race, and they're going to actually take them out of the jail and use them to help find out who's doing these killings. And they're going to have to give them a deal, otherwise they wouldn't help them. And it's a neat story. I'm not sure how it's going to go forward, but there's only like 3 people in this little group, and they're being told this 4th guy is going to come in, and he's a newbie, and you know, they're all like, we don't want, you know, somebody that doesn't know what they're doing helping us. And so it's a neat little story. Definitely pick that one up. It's a lot of fun. That's by 12 Gauge, and that's 25 to life. And then one last thing I want to mention. This is something I picked up at the Baltimore Comic-Con. This is The Guns of Shadow Valley. It's a little western. And this the artist was there, and he drew a little picture on the back and signed it. His name is David Watcher, I guess you pronounce his name. It's neat artwork, a nice little western story, and the cool thing is this is on the web. It's a web comic, the www.gunsofshadowvalley.com, and I think it comes out weekly. I need to get on there and check out some of the other issues besides this first one, but I really like it because I like a lot of the westerns, and this looks like a really good story. I'd like to get on the web and check it out. So that's something you can check out for free online. And that is it for this week. Please leave a comment on YouTube or over on my blog at twodognight.net, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.